You know that feeling when you're staring at your computer screen, a million tabs open, and suddenly everything freezes? That spinning wheel of death shows up, and you're just sitting there helpless watching your productivity grind to a halt. Well, I've got news for you. That's exactly what's happening in your brain when you're drowning in excuses and procrastination. I used to be the king of mental freeze-ups. My brain was constantly running too many useless background processes. Doubts, fears, excuses, they were all hogging my mental RAM, leaving no space for actual, doing stuff. It was like trying to run the latest OA game on a computer from 2005. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. But here's the thing. I figured out how to control Alt-Delete those excuses and force quit procrastination. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Now, before we dive in, let's talk about why this matters. We've all been there, right? You've got a big project, a dream you want to pursue, or even just a simple task you need to get done. But instead of taking action, you're stuck in an endless loop of I'll do it tomorrow, or I'm not ready yet. And before you know it, days, weeks, or even years have passed, and you're still in the same spot. That's not living. That's existing on autopilot. And let me tell you, it's a recipe for regret. But here's where it gets interesting. There's actually a whole movement out there that says procrastination isn't just not bad, it might even be good. Yeah, you heard that right. Welcome to the wild world of the pro-procrastination movement. These folks argue that procrastination is a natural, even essential part of the creative process. They say that when we procrastinate, we're not just being lazy, we're giving our ideas time to percolate, to mature. It's like letting a fine wine breathe before you drink it. They point to examples like Leonardo da Vinci, who took 16 years to finish the Mona Lisa, or Stephen King, who let the first draft of The Stand sit in a drawer for weeks before revisiting it. The argument is that rushed work is often inferior to work that's had time to develop in the back of our minds. But it goes even further than that. Some pro-procrastination advocates argue that our obsession with productivity is just a capitalist construct designed to make us better workers, not better humans. They promote a slower, more deliberate approach to work and life. They say that when we force ourselves to work when we're not feeling inspired, we're actually stifling our creativity. That by embracing procrastination, we're allowing our minds to wander, which can lead to novel connections and ideas. And you know what? They're not entirely wrong. There's definitely value in letting ideas simmer. Sometimes stepping away from a problem is exactly what we need to solve it. How many times have you had a brilliant idea in the shower or while taking a walk? And this is a big but, there's a massive difference between strategic procrastination and being paralyzed by excuses. One is a tool, the other is a trap. And most of us, we're stuck in the trap. So how do we tell the difference? How do we know if we're productively procrastinating or just, procrastinating? Here's a little trick I use. I ask myself, if I knew with 100% certainty that I would succeed, would I still be putting this off? If the answer is no, then I know it's fear holding me back, not a genuine need for more creative time. Now let's talk about how to break free from the excuse trap. How do we clear our mental desktop and finally take action on what matters? I've got a simple trick that's so straightforward, you'll wonder why you didn't think of it yourself. Here's what you're gonna do. Grab a piece of paper. Set a 60-second timer. Write down every single excuse currently floating in your head. I'm too tired, write it down. I don't know where to start on the paper it goes. What if I fail? Yep, that too. Now, here's where it gets fun. When that timer hits 0, physically crumple that paper into a ball. Feel those excuses compressing under your fingers. Now toss it across the room like you're making the winning shot in a championship game. But we're not done yet. The secret sauce. Take one tiny step on your task right now. I don't care how small. Open that document. Write one sentence. Send that email. Do it in the next 2 minutes. No exceptions. Keep that crumpled paper visible. It's your trophy now. A reminder of the excuses you've conquered. Every time you glance at it, remember you're the boss of your brain, not the other way around. Now let's talk about why this Control-Alt-Delete method works so well. It's all about pattern interruption. You see, our brains love patterns. They're efficient. But sometimes those patterns, like the habit of making excuses, don't serve us. By physically writing down your excuses and then literally throwing them away, you're interrupting that mental pattern. You're telling your brain, nope, we're not doing that anymore. And that immediate action step, that's crucial. It builds momentum. It's like pushing a car. The hardest part is getting it moving in the first place, but once it's rolling, it gets easier. But here's the real secret. This isn't just about getting things done. It's about reclaiming your power. Every time you make an excuse, you're giving away your power to some external factor. I can't do it because X. But when you crumple up that paper and take action anyway, you're saying, I'm in control here. I decide what I do and when I do it. Now, I'm not saying we should completely disregard the insights from the procrastination movement. There's wisdom there. Sometimes we do need to slow down, to let our minds wander, to give our ideas time to develop. But here's the thing, we need to be intentional about it. If you're going to procrastinate, make it a conscious choice. Say to yourself, I'm stepping away from this task for now because I believe it will lead to a better outcome. That's strategic, that's productive. What we're trying to eliminate with the Control-Alt-Delete method are the unconscious excuses, the fear-based procrastination that keeps us stuck. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Breaking old habits never is, but it is simple. And with practice, it gets easier. The more you do it, the more you'll start to recognize those excuses as soon as they pop up. And eventually, you'll be able to Control-Alt-Delete them before they even fully form. But remember, this isn't about becoming some productivity robot. It's about freeing yourself to pursue what really matters to you. It's about closing the gap between who you are and who you want to be. So here's my challenge to you. Try the Control-Alt-Delete method once you're done watching this. If you have to, write those excuses, crumple that paper, take that tiny step. Then come back and tell me how it felt in the comments. Remember, you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Stop waiting for the perfect moment because, spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. The perfect moment is now. Always now. In our next video, we're going to talk about how to boost your mental bandwidth and really supercharge your productivity. So if you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Now go out there and show those excuses who's boss. It's time to upgrade your mental operating system. Control-Alt-Delete those excuses and reboot your productivity. Now it's time to start believing in yourself.